Yes, we just found a baby in the trash. We had just found an infant child.
Is it breathing?
In the goddamn trash. Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
The shocking discovery of a barely breathing baby boy inside a black trash bag found by dumpster divers in New Mexico has thrust everyone into a state of disbelief. As the investigation unfolds, questions arise about the circumstances surrounding the incident and the involvement of Alexis Avila. The discovery of the barely breathing baby boy inside a black trash bag by dumpster divers shocked everyone. The sight of such a vulnerable and helpless infant left many questioning how such a tragic incident could occur. The swift response from the police was crucial in ensuring the safety and well-being of the baby, as well as launching a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the case. Upon receiving the report, law enforcement officers arrived at the scene and quickly assessed the situation. The dumpster divers provided vital information about the location and appearance of the trash bag containing the baby. Their actions in immediately notifying the authorities played a significant role in saving the infant's life. The police cordoned off the area and initiated a meticulous search for any additional evidence. Every detail was crucial in piecing together the events leading up to the baby's abandonment. Forensic experts carefully examined the trash bag, looking for fingerprints, DNA, or any other trace evidence that could link the baby to the person responsible for the disposal. Meanwhile, an extensive search for witnesses commenced. Detectives interviewed residents and business owners in the vicinity of the dumpster, hoping to uncover any information that might shed light on the identity of the individual responsible for abandoning the baby. Surveillance cameras in the area were reviewed, with the hope of capturing footage that could provide valuable clues.
Alexis, what is your full name?
Alexis Avila.
Okay.
During the investigation, Alexis Avila came under suspicion when she was seen throwing a trash bag into the same dumpster where the baby was discovered. Alexis, an 18-year-old young woman, became a person of interest due to her proximity to the crime scene and her potential involvement in the incident. Law enforcement officials swiftly brought Alexis in for questioning. This initial phase of the investigation focused on establishing her connection to the abandoned baby and determining her level of involvement.
Obviously, I got confirmation that you were pregnant, okay? Right.
I found that out yesterday.
You found that out yesterday? So tell me a little bit more about that.
Alexis' demeanor during the questioning was closely observed, as detectives sought to assess her emotional state and gather information. The detectives handling the case recognized the importance of building rapport with Alexis in order to create a safe and trusting environment for her to share information. They approached the questioning process with compassion and empathy, understanding that the circumstances surrounding the abandonment of a child could be complex and emotionally charged.
I went to the restroom.
Okay.
I was in pain. I was up all night I was asleep and I go to the restroom and just all hours of the night, all day today.
Okay.
By demonstrating understanding and listening attentively, the detectives hoped to encourage Alexis to disclose the truth behind her actions. They provided reassurances that their primary concern was the well-being of the baby and that they wanted to understand the circumstances that led to his abandonment. Throughout the initial questioning, Alexis maintained her innocence and claimed that she had only recently discovered her pregnancy. She presented herself as a naive and scared young woman who had acted out of fear and confusion.
You were sending messages to your mom, suicidal messages, saying that you were going to be with God, and cops were called out to your address in June. Does this have to do, to me, it obviously...
It has nothing to do with him, absolutely nothing.
However, inconsistencies and discrepancies in her statements raised suspicions among the investigators. The detectives carefully examined the evidence at hand, cross-referencing Alexis's statements with the physical evidence and witness testimonies. It was imperative to establish a clear timeline and determine the veracity of Alexis's claims. By piecing together the puzzle, they hoped to uncover the truth and bring justice to the baby and the individuals involved in this heartbreaking incident. As the investigation progressed, the focus shifted to gathering additional evidence, conducting forensic analysis, and exploring any potential leads that could provide a comprehensive understanding of the circumstances surrounding the baby's abandonment. The police and forensic experts worked tirelessly to ensure that no stone was left unturned in their pursuit of justice. In the investigation of the baby found in the dumpster, one of the critical elements for the detectives was to establish rapport with Alexis Avila, the person of interest in the case. Recognizing the importance of creating a safe and trusting environment, the detectives employed various strategies to establish rapport, with the ultimate goal of encouraging Alexis to share crucial information about her involvement in the incident. Creating a safe and non-threatening atmosphere was paramount to ensure that Alexis felt comfortable and willing to open up during questioning.
Seal it up.
With the hair tie.
I'm sorry?
With the hair tie.
With the hair tie?
But I don't even think it stuck because it was broke.
Okay. So
We're on the verge of breaking.
Okay. Were you by yourself in the car?
I was by myself the whole time.
Okay.
The detectives approached the interaction with empathy and understanding, conveying through their words and demeanor that their primary concern was the well-being of the baby and a desire to understand the circumstances linked to his abandonment. To establish rapport, the detectives employed active listening skills. They gave Alexis their undivided attention, maintaining eye contact and providing verbal and nonverbal clues to demonstrate their engagement. By genuinely listening to her responses, the detectives conveyed their interest in understanding her perspective and creating an environment where her voice would be heard. Empathy played a crucial role in establishing rapport. The detectives sought to understand the emotional state of Alexis and acknowledge the difficulty of the situation. They expressed empathy and validated her feelings, recognizing that she might have been experiencing fear, confusion, and distress. This approach aimed to create a sense of psychological safety, where Alexis would feel understood and more willing to disclose information. The detectives also utilized effective communication techniques such as open-ended questions and active prompting. By asking open-ended questions, they encouraged Alexis to provide detailed responses, fostering a more comprehensive understanding of her experiences and thought processes. Active prompting involved gentle guidance and encouragement to ensure that Alexis felt supported and encouraged to share additional information or clarify her statements. Building trust was an integral part of establishing rapport. The detectives demonstrated their trustworthiness by maintaining confidentiality, emphasizing their commitment to uncovering the truth, and assuring Alexis that her cooperation would be instrumental in achieving justice for the baby. Trust was reinforced through consistency in their approach, ensuring that their words and actions aligned. Throughout the questioning process, the detectives displayed patience and understanding. They recognized that Alexis might have been experiencing emotional turmoil and confusion, and they allowed her the time and space to express herself fully. By demonstrating patience, the detectives aimed to create an environment where Alexis felt safe enough to share information without fear of judgment or hasty consequences. The detectives also employed active observation and emotional intelligence. They paid close attention to Alexis's nonverbal cues, such as body language and facial expressions, to gain insights into her emotional state and to gauge the veracity of her statements. By actively observing and interpreting these cues, they were able to adapt their approach accordingly, providing the necessary support and empathy. During the course of the investigation, Alexis Avila's statements and behavior raised numerous inconsistencies and suspicions, prompting further scrutiny from the detectives. While she initially presented herself as an innocent and unaware young woman who had only recently discovered her pregnancy, the detectives discovered contradictions that cast doubt on her narrative. One of these inconsistencies arose when Alexis claimed to have learned about her pregnancy just one day prior to the incident. Detectives found it difficult to believe that she could have been completely unaware of her condition until that late stage, considering the physical and emotional changes associated with pregnancy. The goal was to establish a coherent narrative that aligned with the evidence and shed light on the motives and actions that led to the disposal of the baby in the dumpster. Alexis's case highlights the multifaceted issues surrounding unplanned pregnancies. It raises questions about access to education, healthcare, and support systems for young individuals facing unexpected parenthood. Societal attitudes and cultural stigmas surrounding teenage pregnancy also play a significant role, shaping the decisions and actions of those involved. While acknowledging the complexities surrounding Alexis's case, it is essential to address accountability. Regardless of age and experience, individuals must be held responsible for their actions. The legal framework should balance compassion with consequences, ensuring appropriate measures are taken to prevent such tragedies while offering support and rehabilitation when necessary. The heartbreaking discovery of a baby in a dumpster serves as a stark reminder of the urgent need to address the complex issues surrounding unplanned pregnancies, youth awareness, and support systems for vulnerable individuals. By learning from this tragedy, society can work towards preventing similar incidents and creating a safer, more compassionate environment for all.